This is again in Likutei Sichot Beit, and we're talking about Chag Shavuot. It's in my book. It's on page 14. So we said that the holiday of Shavuot is the most important holiday. First of all, it's right in the middle, and also it's a source of all the other holidays. It's the highest than all the other holidays. It contains all the, because that's when the Torah was given. And the Torah contains all the holidays. Without the Torah, there aren't any holidays. And not only does it contain all the other holidays, but it's also higher than all of them because it reaches what we called here the middle pillar, the middle balancing factor. And that's why the number 3 is so important. The Torah was given in the 3rd month because the Torah is there to unite all opposites, to take the two opposites and unite them together. I think in English they even have a word for it. It's called a thesis, an antithesis, and a synthesis. You ever heard that before? I heard it somewhere. Huh?
Not in that context.
Yeah, not in that context for sure. But here it means that there's two opposites and they become one by means of the Torah. Reveals God's oneness. Chag Shavuot, the holiday of Shavuot, we're on Yud Zayin. Chag Shavuot, the holiday of Shavuot, hu zman mesugal lihitchazkut b'shmirat takanat kavod kedushat admor morichami admor, to learn the Shirim, Chumash, Tehillim, and Tanya every day. The previous Lubavitcher Rebbe said that every Jew every day should learn the portion of Psalms of that day. The Psalms are divided up in several ways, but there's also divided up into 30 different portions. The Psalms, there's 150 Psalms, and they're divided up into 30 portions. 30 portions every day. Another portion every day of the month. And the same thing, the Chumash. The Chumash, every day we read another portion of the reading of the week. Right? On Shabbat, 7 people get called up. That corresponds to the 7 days of the week. So each day we read another one of those. That means that we finish the whole Sefer book of Tehillim every month. We finish learning the whole entire Chumash, the 5 books of Moses, with the commentary of Rashi every year. And also the book, the Tanya. Tanya, too, it was written by the first Rebbe of Chabad, but it explains things there that are not explained anywhere else in the Torah in this way. The secrets of the Torah, how to make them practical. So that's called Chitat. Everyone who wants to be connected to the Rebbes of Chabad should learn Chitat. Chumash, Tehillim, and Tanya every day. Chumash every day means the parsha of the Chumash, Pirush Rashi. First day until second day until the 3rd day, etc. Tehillim, every day one of the 30 portions of the Tehillim as they are portioned to the day of the month. In the Lavush, there's a book called the Lavush by Rab Mordechai Yaffe, called the Lavushe Mordechai. It's a law book. It's a book like the Torah. He brings the laws and he brings the explanations also. It's brought Al Amirat Tehillim Livnei Atfila, saying psalms before you pray. This is a different thing. What the previous Rebbe said is that every day of Tehillim after you finish praying. And then there's the book, the Tanya. The Tanya is every day you say one of the portions of the Tanya according to how it is divided into the days of the year. What's this got to do with the holiday of Shavuot? Okay, Herschel. What has this got to do with the holiday of Shavuot? Strengthening Tanya and Tehillim and Chumash. Chumash maybe you can understand because that was the day that Moses got the Torah. So we should learn the Torah. Chumash nitan b'har Shavuos by means of Moshe Rabbeinu. Even though that on the holiday of Shavuot, like I said before, they didn't really get the whole Torah. All they got was the 10 Commandments. And Moses, and they didn't even get that. Moses broke them, came down, but they heard the Ten Commandments. The main thing is on Mount Sinai, but it was on Shavuot, they got Moshe. Moshe Rabbeinu became the connector between the Jewish people and God. Then there's the book of Tehillim. In the book of Tehillim, and that's the Torah, that's the idea of the Torah. So Shavuot is the day when the Torah was given. Tehillim. This is relevant to David HaMelech. What's David HaMelech got to do? What does David have to do with the Hal of Shavuot? Shebachag HaShavuot chal yom ha'oleret v'yom ha'hilul shelo. It's the day that David HaMelech was born and the day that David HaMelech passed away 70 years later. This says in the Gemara Yerushalmi and also in the Gemara Chagiga. So David HaMelech, his day, just like Moshe Rabbeinu's day is Shavuos, David HaMelech's day is Shavuos. That's the day that he was born, the day he passed away. What about the Tanya? The Tanya is an explanation of the ideas of the Baal Shem Tov. Shari Gilui Torah the Baal Shem Tov is in Chassidut Chabad. Chassidut Chabad took it on themselves to explain the ideas of the Baal Shem Tov. And the Tanya especially. And as is known, Haremez Baskama B'Sefer Tanya Uke'et Yismach Yisrael Behigalot Divrei Kadsho Sheyom Hilulo Shelo Chal B'Shavuot. This is Yismach Yisrael, that Yisrael Baal Shem Tov will rejoice when now in the book of the Tanya, and that his teachings are now being explained. Good. Okay, what does the Baal Shem Tov got to do with Shavuot? The Baal Shem Tov also passed away on Shavuot. So David HaMelech passed away on Shavuot. He was also born on Shavuot, and the Baal Shem Tov and Moshe Rabbeinu. I saw in one mimer that Moshe Rabbeinu also passed away on holiday of Shavuot. Why? Because when God spoke, everybody died. All the Jewish people died, and God enlivened them. So we can also perhaps say that Moshe Rabbeinu also the same thing. His soul jumped out of his body like everybody else. I don't know, but that's what it says in a mimer. I saw it. Nevertheless, for sure, the day of Shavuot is Moshe's day. That's the day that he got the Torah. Zman mesugal hu efoata litchazek. Therefore, now is the proper time to strengthen yourself in these shiurim, hashavim l'kol nefesh, which are equal for every Jew. Nosav litchazkot. In addition to strengthen yourself in learning Torah in general, each person according to his ability. Shagam lakach kamuvan matim zman chag HaShavuot. This learning Torah in general, strengthening the learning of Torah in general, this is relevant very much to the holiday of Shavuot. Zman man Torah teinu, the time that the Torah was given. Kol Torah, the whole entire Torah was given. Kol mashet talmid vatik ati l'chadesh. Everything that an excellent, expert pupil would realize, and if you want to call it invent, it was all given in Mount Sinai. All of the ideas that were going to come later. And by means of keeping and observing, doing chitat every day, Tehillim, Tanya, and Chumash, Tehei chitat Elokim al harim. The fear of God will be on all of the cities around. In other words, all the non-Jews will have fear of us, and for a good reason. Rosh Tevos Chumash Tehillim Tanya. By means of us learning Chumash every day, Tehillim, and saying the portion of Tanya every day, as there will be chitat, fear of the Jews will be on the world around us. What do you mean they should be afraid? They should be afraid to go against the Torah. They should be afraid of what? The Jews have no plans to take over the whole world. But on the other hand, they also have no plans of being taken over. And if anybody tries it, then it will be revealed that the Jews are God's people. Who is God? God is the one creating all of these creeps that want to do us bad. So they're in for what we call a rude surprise or a pleasant surprise. Depends on which side you're looking. Nesia mitoch menucha le'eretz Yisrael. By this, there will be fear, right? Nesia mitoch menucha le'eretz Yisrael. Traveling, all the Jews will go to the land of Israel in a pleasant way, in a happy way, the gula shlema v'emitit, in a total, wholesome redemption. We won't have to come here because of the pogroms and because of fear. We'll come in a very pleasant and a nice way. How do we do it? By means of us learning chitat. So you should not go to sleep at night until you finished your chitat. Kanei Amar, like it says, the Yaakov Avinu, Nesav v'neilecha, let us go and travel and go. Shekain yiyeh b'meirav yamayim, so it will be quickly. In the merit of the holiday of Shavuot, because of the Torah, it will bring peace to the world. Like it says, the saved ones will go from the Mount of Zion and they will judge the mountain of Esav. Esav are all the evil Gentiles that have done us injustices through the generations. By learning Torah and doing the commandments and doing what we said before, these three things that the previous Rebbe said, learning Chumash every day, Tanya and Tehillim, Yamshichu et Mashiach, we will bring the Mashiach even lower. We'll bring the Mashiach to be revealed, Lamata Mesar Tafachim, in this actually physical world, Bimheira, B'yameinu, quickly in our days. Yudchet. Let's do a little bit. We'll just do this today and then take a break. So we see the tremendous importance of the holiday of Shavuot. Even though on the holiday of Shavuot there are no commandments. Only on Shavuot, there's not a commandment to take the Sefer Torah and shake it or eat milk and honey or something. There are customs. And people have customs. Some people eat cheese. Some people, they put flowers. They decorate the shul. Right, very nice. You stay awake all night. But these are not commandments. These are not commandments. Commandments is a different thing. Commandments mean you sit in a sukkah, you take a lulav and esrog, you eat matzah. Hatam lakach, the reason that the Torah was given in a desert. Why did God give the Torah in the desert? I mean, maybe you could say he gave the Torah in the desert because, he didn't want anyone to know. It was a secret place, it was far away, but it wasn't secret. There was 3 million people there. They all got the Torah. Even more, God totally, he decimated Egypt. God could have given the Torah in Egypt. Could have given the Torah in Egypt. That would have been the best sign of all. We're taking over the place. We're transforming it to a holy temple. Right? We're wrecking all these pyramids and throwing away all these mummies and stuff. And we're going to make it into a holy place, Egypt.
They didn't even know any vandalism left.
Right. Smashed a couple windows. God did pretty much all the... And then, when they were in Egypt is not that far away from Israel. So they could have just, spread out gradually. Just gradually spread out. And the Torah would have been given in Egypt. Egypt would have been transformed to be holy. We could have made all the Egyptians our slaves. And little by little, push out, gradually bring chariots to the land of Israel, conquer the place diplomatically, give them all opportunity to make peace agreements with us. And that would be it. What do we have to have all this crazy stuff with the 10 plagues and the splitting of the sea, and God took us to the mountain, and the mountain was in the middle of a desert. Why make it in the desert? Why make the Jewish people suffer and go out and do all this weird stuff? They didn't suffer enough in Egypt enough.
Well, they didn't really suffer in the desert.
They were in the desert. They were always wanted, but they wanted to go back all the time, and they were afraid, especially when they left. The Egyptian army was running after them. Egyptian army was running after you. Not so bad. Maybe
Maybe
today's Egyptian army, but before that it was scary. That's 7 days. 7 days they were running after him.
7 days were not so bad.
And after they got out, they always wanted to go back. The Jews constantly were complaining and wanting to go back. Why the desert?
During the 40 years, we don't know.
What?
I don't think during the 40 years, during the first year or two, they wanted to go back. But from the second year to right before the 40th, there's not really a whole lot known.
It's not so. When the man, let's see.
Stopped when Aaron died. That's all the way at the end.
No. 1 second. Let me just think. This thing. That's not so. A little bit before, right? This is at Mara. Sham Sam Chok Mishpat Sam Niso. Says at Mara. That was already a couple of months after they were already out. They were out. Okay, we'll have to look and see. But nevertheless, they did want to go back. Then when they were finally out, they didn't want to go into the land of Israel. When they finally got used to the desert. Right? But they did. They got made trouble with the man. They didn't like the man. They hated the man. Right? That was the trouble that they made with the man was way later. After they got the man, they said, we don't like this. It stays the same. We want, remember the fish we ate in Egypt? Remember then when God gave them the slav.
I think all of this happened before the spies. The spies was like the last thing.
The spies was like a little more than a year after they left Egypt.
Most of these stories happened before the spies, I think.
No.
And then from the spies.
Korach, for instance. Korach was not.
Korach was the spies.
Korach was. 1 second. Give me a second.
At the spies, they realized.
Korach was right after the spies. Korach was right after the spies. No.
You sure?
Yeah. Korach was right after the spies. The Rebbe brings it in. There's a book called Seder Olam.
But it was close.
It brings the Korach. Okay. The reason that the Torah was given in the desert is to teach us. Keshem Shemidbar, just like a desert is a place that is hefker, ownerless. Ve'ein alav adon, and there is no one that owns anything in the desert. Kach gam, also the Torah. Ein alel balabayas. Nobody is the owner of the Torah. Kol echad mishtech the Torah. Everyone is relevant to the Torah. The people with the lowest IQ, people that don't have any time, everyone is relevant to the Torah. Kishalom da nasa shalom. As soon as you learn it, it becomes yours. But Madua, if so, why was the Torah given in the desert? The desert is a place, Eretz Tzia v'oyev b'limayim. It's a place which is totally wasted, without any water. You want to stop it for a minute?